Hi.
Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Sam. How are you?
I'm pretty good today. How about yourself?
I'm feeling really good today. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You also know I never complain when we get to do this together.
I know. Same, same.
I am a happy camper.
Me too. And everybody's here. Mary's here. Anita's here. Colleen and Lois. Our Facebook group will be catching up soon.
The
I love it.
YouTube,
I
I
love it.
love the. I think I finally understand what you were saying about like how the YouTube people are here. Like they literally are in the chat already.
Yeah.
But then they're like, that makes. Then they're here when the stream starts.
Yep. Yeah. So
That's
they get
nifty.
they get the first couple of seconds where
That's
Facebook has to catch up just a little bit.
right. No, that's kind of smart. I like it because I usually watch on YouTube these days because it's just easy.
Yeah.
And you also like, you know how you can like the screen on screen, you can like I can still like text someone if I'm still watching the stream and like
Yep. I love that's not just about YouTube, but that's like my favorite thing for other things as well. Like when I was getting ready this morning, I'm watching this weird it's like an ABC news report in depth about like these crimes that happened in the national parks. And so like I know I'm weird, but I'm like watching that and then also like sending out my text and like talking to Colleen and checking in with mom and like you know what I mean? So I like it because I can do that whole little screen on screen thing. It's
it's
perfect.
very nifty.
It is.
One tip I have noticed when from being on YouTube is that it lets you like you can click backwards, like watch back into the stream, but sometimes I don't realize that I've done that. And then I'm watching like the beginning of the stream while the later stream is happening, and like
Right.
none of the comments make sense to like it doesn't make sense. So if you look at the red line, make sure you've clicked on the right-hand side, I guess this side for you, and
Yeah.
like it'll take you back to the start where to the live part of the stream.
That's so smart. You know, it's funny because that happens on Facebook too, but there's no way to know.
Uh-uh. No, you have to just leave and come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's your tech tips of the day.
Tech tips from Sam.
So what are we doing today, Sarah?
Oh my gosh. We're doing one of my favorite things in the whole world, which is opening up and going through your bead box. And this month, okay, I say this like almost every month, but this is one of the boxes where I got it on a Saturday. I was a little bit later than everybody else. I got it on a Saturday and I had all these other things planned to do on a Saturday, all these chores, all these things around the house that needed to be taken care of. I went to the mailbox. I got my box and I was like, I've got time this month. I can actually open it before the live.
Mm-hmm.
I opened it, stopped everything else I was doing and started playing immediately. Like that's how inspired I was. So this one, I think right now, this is hit number one for me. This is number one.
I'm very curious to find out why this one spoke to you.
I guess it's probably just because like I always tell people like I was born at the wrong time, but I don't really fit in anywhere. Like there's the 20s and the 30s and the 50s is definitely my favorite, but the 20s like flapper jewelry and like that whole like long streamlined look. And like the like mid-length dresses that were like between your knee and your calf, like that whole like slim and the flapper hair, like something about that just is so inspiring to me.
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't particularly care for the architecture, but the fashion and the jewelry, which mirrors the architecture, you would think I'd like it, but I really don't.
They're different. They're different. When we were researching for this box, like we found that the jewelry. So we're talking about the Art Deco. We're talking about Art Deco here because that's the theme for.
Oh yeah. By the way, sorry.
Hi everyone. I'm Sam, Sam's Bead Shop. We also do Sam's Bead Box. This is Sara Lovecraft. She's fantastic. And yeah, they are different. Like they share some similar design elements, but I found a lot of the jewelry to be a bit more intricate. It featured more filigree.
Yeah.
It featured more like gems and rhinestone type sparkle things, which obviously like you don't see a building covered in like gems per se, but you'll see like nice elements like brass and gold really being featured intricately.
Yeah.
So they are different. So that it makes sense that you are like more drawn to the design side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And the filigree, maybe that's what it is. The use of open space in the filigree work is, to me, just so intriguing because there's so many possibilities. And you can filigree a piece and fill it in or leave it and get a totally different look from it. And then all of, like, for this box in particular, all of the facets, all of the carving work that's in these beads. Though you can see a lot of it in some of the architecture, for me, it works in the jewelry and the fashion in such a way that it makes everything just feel so rich. Like, it has this kind of old world feel to it, but it's like on speed. You know what I mean?
It was a glamorous, like the Roaring Twenties. There was a glamour to all of it.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely probably what
you wanted to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
It is fun, and it's, you know, and it takes you to a place where, you know, where people got dressed up to hang out with each other. You know, and it's like, I feel like that so much of that is missing now in the present time. Like, we don't get dressed up for each other like they did in the
not like that.
Not like that, you know, and like, I hate to like talk about my personal life a whole lot, but we went to dance class last night and we dressed up, and like, I get to fulfill that, you know, and this box just kind of hit at the right time for that, because I'm just feeling it. Like, I want to make all kinds of jewelry with this box, and there is no shortage on beads. So we've got, like, there's a whole lot of beads here.
I'm so excited. So before we like fully dive in, if you have not heard of Sam's Bead Box, it's the monthly bead box of Sam's Bead Shop. We've been doing it for a while now, since I think we started in March 2021. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary very soon. We might have a special Sara Lovecraft box in the pipeline, but we haven't said anything on that yet. And we'll tell you more when that's coming. And it's like a really great value, I think, that you can get if you're like really wanting to add some nice quality check beads, some gemstone elements, and some metals. We always do USA made metals. It's like a great monthly subscription where we think you get like a 30 to 40% discount on the beads by getting it through the monthly subscription. So highly recommend. You can go to samsbeadbox.com and subscribe for November. You can use code Sara, SARA, for $5 off your first month, which ain't too shabby. And Sarah's going to show us the October box that we released earlier this month.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go ahead. Like, I'm not stopping. I'm going. We can.
Let's go.
So, just in being completely transparent, like, you guys, a lot of these beads are already in the design. Like, some of it's already pre-made, and then I've separated out. So there are some beads you're not going to see, like, when we're looking at. Like, I got a lot of empty bags here, but you are going to see them. You're just going to see them in a design.
I love to see empty bags, Sara. That is my dream with the bead box.
I got lots of empty bags here.
I wish all of my boxes were empty bags.
I used a lot of beads, and I still had a ton left over, like a whole lot left over. So, like, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags of beads for the design, and I still have like all this left. So
that is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, out of the things that I didn't use, let's just take a little look-see. So I think probably one of my favorite things was the lapis that's in here. It's just beautiful. It's so rich, and just that blue. It's one of those blues that I feel like works with every skin tone ever. And it's one of those stones that you can use in so many different ways. Like, it just has that such versatile feel to it. You can use these in like Egyptian style designs, or Art Deco, or modern, or, you know, like shabby chic looking boho. It's such a versatile stone. So I was super excited to get these.
I've always loved lapis. We went for like a dyed lapis this month, just to make sure we got like that really nice deep blue.
Yeah.
And so it's still made from natural lapis, but they darken it a bit, and like that's the color we wanted for this box.
It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now this was probably this was my favorite thing in the box. And there are some of these missing, but this was my favorite. This was what I was like, yep, I got to stop what I'm doing, because we're going to play with beads. And so the rest of my Saturday, I I spent playing around. These are amazing. This screams Art Deco. Like, this was the perfect find for this box. This box, I don't think would have come across nearly as perfect without these. If you had left these out, it just wouldn't have been the same. There are other black. Well, there's one other black.
4 colors.
Yeah, and there was red. The red is in the design, so you're gonna see the red ones. This was just a piece I was playing around with, but. And then my next favorite are these, which are also this kind of in the same family, you know, that same, I don't even know. What do you call that, Sam?
We called it the Deco oval, but it reminds me of like a fountain.
Yeah. I love so much. Then I
love that you all the fanciest beads are the ones that
of course all the fancy ones are calling my name. Look how pretty. Love.
Yeah, this is our mandala coin that we have in the shop, but we wanted like a more elevated version, so we just had them put full coat of gold on either side.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. If folks are interested, we're totally sold out of this box. Like we're not gonna have extras, but we do have individual extras of most of the beads. So if you do want some of those, you can join us at our live sale tonight, which is 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sam's Bead Shop Facebook page. Definitely join the text list.
I'm like so excited. I'm trying to talk over you. I'm so sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I don't mean to. I'm just like, God, get it out. Like, I want to make a flapper headdress and I want to hang these as dangles from my head. You know what I'm saying? Like with the feathers.
You need to get you another black fan there.
Yes. Oh, I love. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just excited.
No, I love it. No, you're good.
This box is so gorgeous. I can't even. Okay. The aventurine also makes me ridiculously happy. It's so rich. I've never had it in this green before.
I know, it's so cool. I got these from my cutter in India, and he has this rough material that's way darker than a typical aventurine, and it reminds me of emeralds.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the main tones we went for the box. We did a lot of like jewel tones. We did like the lapis, garnet, amethyst, and emerald. So this was like felt so perfect to be able to do. Obviously can't do emeralds in the box.
No, but this is pretty darn close, and I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I was very happy with these.
Yeah, they're so pretty. So that's one of the things that is really awesome about Sam's box is that it's not just like high quality check glass, because like there is high quality check glass here, but you also include like gemstones like the lapis and the aventurine, and then there are these amethyst beads here. Like you don't skimp on anything, and the facets on those are absolutely stunning.
I love those amethysts.
Yeah, they're beautiful. So pretty. Like I want to make long amethyst earrings, you know, just that straight line. I don't know, there's something about Art Deco that's very vertical in design, and that just all of the beads in this box work that way. You could lay these out, right, and just link them together, make a beaded chain out of them, pop an ear wire on them, and call them done. You could do the same thing with these that have that same kind of vertical feel to them. These as well. Like you nailed it. You nailed it. Of course you did. I mean, was there ever any question that you weren't going to?
This was a harder theme. This was a lot harder to pull off this month, I have to say.
Well, let me tell you, I could give you design inspiration for days with this box because I'm so inspired. However, if you don't like any of the things that I do with this box, maybe you're still looking for some extra inspiration, I encourage you to go and just Google 1920s jewelry, or just Google Art Deco jewelry. And the images that are going to come up, there is something that will inspire you. I promise you. Even if you don't even use the theme, like if you don't use these beads in like an Art Deco kind of way, you're still going to be inspired by all of the different shapes and elements in jewelry design that has, you know, this theme to it that you could translate into modern day pieces. You know, you don't have to feel like you got to make a 1920s inspired piece. because individually all of these beads are gorgeous, but then they all work together to make these really amazing pieces that are Art Deco inspired. So here is another Tiara Cast button. I can't get enough of the buttons. Send me all the buttons, Tiara Cast. Tracy, please send me every button that you have.
And this one has a crystal in the middle.
I know, it's so pretty. Shank style button. They work great as clasps. They make great focals. I showed you guys once upon a time when we were doing a box together how you could take it and turn it into like a bead, like you can make a component out of it. Buttons, particularly shank style, are so versatile, and this one's gorgeous. Love. Sam, you and Rachel killed it with this box. I mean, you just
Thank
did.
you, Sarah.
You did. And what nobody is seeing here is all of the other color that's here. There's lots of gold. There's some really deep reds and some like ruby. Yeah, I'm going to show you all of those things. They're already in something though. So I'm going to move all this out of the way. Oh,
we get to see the final piece.
It's not completed. There's half of it. So
Okay.
half of it's done. We're going to do half of it together just to kind of save some time because it really is just kind of stringing. We're going to do a little bit of wire wrapping, but not a lot. But I did want to bring the seed beads out because we are going to use them in the design, and these are just yummy. What do you even call this color?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. They're crystal clear with a gold lining and a rainbow finish.
Yeah, they're fabulous.
They're nice, extra shiny.
Yeah, and they work really well with gold, but then I also played around with these with silver because of the clear and the pops of the like the purples and the blues that are kind of shimmery in there. It also works with silver. So this is not one of those like one trick pony beads. Like you can use this with all kinds of metals for sure. It would look really yummy with copper for sure. All right, so I'm going to move some of this out of the way. I know we didn't go through every single bead, but we've got a really long necklace to put together, so I want to be sure we have plenty of time to work on it. So we are going to use some of the seed beads, and I'll show you some of the beads that are in this design that, let's see here. So there are some of these red. At first I thought these were black. And they're not coming across on camera nearly as red. It would take a different kind of light. These are like the deepest garnet, just yummy. They're so pretty. So we use a lot of these in the necklace we're going to make. So I feel like I got to draw a picture first.
Yes, I love when you do this.
If Danielle is here, she lives for my pictures because I draw the silliest things. But let me show you kind of what I was. Originally, this is what my original inspiration was. Let's see. I got to have something to write with or none of this makes any sense. Okay. So I talk about how like the 1920s, the Art Deco jewelry is a very vertical kind of piece or a lot of vertical pieces, not all of them, but that long kind of streamlined look where it really lengthens everything was what I was going for. And the original design, something that I've seen like even today, like I think like some of the big names like Cartier still do this in like pearls, if you can even imagine. It's a 2-strand design that I'm going to draw like the original. Okay. So the original comes down, one strand comes down like this. There's some sort of doodad here, just something. Okay. And this strand actually makes a loop. Okay. So, but it comes through whatever the component is. The other strand runs along the side of this one, but then goes through the loop like this. So what you've got is you've got this beaded strand here, right? And just imagine like maybe it was pearls or, you know, something beautiful. And it makes a loop, but then the other strand comes down and it just dead ends with like some hangy dangles, because I love dangles, right? So that's what the inspiration for the piece that we're going to make is. I didn't do the loop with a full strand. Instead, I used the component that was included in this kit. You want to tell us about this really cool component?
Sure. Yeah, this was a Nun Design pendant we included. This really cool like dome design, geometric dome design. I really liked. Rachel and I were so drawn to the geometry of it.
Yeah. So I used this kind of as our loop and our component in one. So what we're going to do is, you can see I've already beaded up like one strand of this. One side of this is already beaded. In fact, the other strand that actually goes through this is beaded up as well. And we're going to bead up. It's hard to show long designs here. But you can see this is a really long strand, right? That's going to come all the way down. And we're going to come to the component. We're going to run another piece that's going to come down next to it, but it's going to cross over or under, depending on how you want to do it. And it's actually going to go through our component here, just like this. And again, you can run it on either side. I'm going to run mine on the inside here. Just like that, right? And then we're going to do a dangle here at the bottom. And the dangle is a stack up of these. So we're going to stack these up and hang that at the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. That's why I've already beaded up all of this, because we're going to do the exact same thing over here, just a little bit longer, because it also kind of has that staggered, like one side is longer than the other. It's kind of asymmetrical in its design. So instead of us having just the beaded loop, we're using this as our component. What it ends up being is sort of like a lariat, but not. It's like a faux lariat. It's a faux 2-strand necklace, because our first strand that would actually be the loop kind of dead ends here at the component. So it doesn't continue, but it's still going to have the same kind of feeling to what I showed you originally.
And then do all 4 strands come together in the back at a clasp?
Yeah. So all 4 strands are going to come together, and I thinned them out using some of the seed beads, which are also popped through the design as well. But I thinned it out just so that back here at the back, when we bring it all together with a jump ring and clasp, it's not this big chunky mess that's on the back of your neck. So I really kind of wanted to pay attention to that, because sometimes it can be hard to wear a multi-strand design when you feel like you've got really heavy pieces on the back of your neck. So we thinned it out with some of the seed beads. But yeah, we're going to end up with 2 strands on either side, come together with just a simple clasp. But you could use that gorgeous tiara cast button if you wanted to as your clasp here. You just might not see it unless you had like your hair up. But so what we're going to do is we're going to bead up the strand that matches this one, and we're going to attach it to our component. We're going to do that first. And so a lot of this is just going to be like just stringing. So nice. Sam, entertain us. No.
We get some crimping 101 today, I guess.
We do get some crimping 101. Yeah. And I'm using some Beadalon 49 strand. I'm actually using bronze color because I'm out of gold, but I feel like the bronze works just as well. And I'm using the 0.46 millimeter, which is a pretty kind of general size that'll accommodate a lot of different beads. But on the packaging, you can see what size components you need, or what size findings you need. If you're going to be using 0.46 millimeters, it tells you you're going to need a number 1 crimp bead or a number 2 crimp tube. I'm using number 2 crimp tubes in gold and some gold wire guardians. So you really don't see much of that bronze wire. That's why it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter so much, because with the wire guardians and the crimps, it all just ends up looking gold anyway. So, all right. So I'm going to start down here on this end. So basically what we're doing is we're just going to repeat exactly what's here with these gorgeous beads, but we're going to crimp, like Sam said. So I can't get my crimps.
Yeah. How do you get those caps off?
I use my flat nose pliers.
I don't know who designed that.
Right? There's really hard to get on and off. Oh my gosh. We need to tell Wyatt. Okay, Wyatt, this doesn't work for us. I'm gonna need like a little pull thing on the top of it.
It's like he thinks I have nails or something. I'm like,
right. I need one of these on the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so to get started, we're going to take the end of our bead string wire. We're going to take our crimp tube or crimp bead, makes no difference. It's just whichever one you like better. We're going to thread that on to the end of our bead stringing wire. And then we're going to thread on a wire guardian. Now, you don't have to use a wire guardian. I have just been in the habit of using them for several years, so I do. But you can just make a loop with your bead stringing wire. It's up to you. Totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going to take my wire back down through the wire guardian and then down through the crimp tube. And what you want to be sure of is that your bead stringing wire is not crisscrossing. I just undid what I did. Hold on. Okay, so that your bead stringing wire is not crisscrossing inside your crimp tube or your crimp bead. So you want that bead stringing wire to be running parallel inside there. And then you want to use your fingers to kind of further pull them apart, right? And if you need to, look down inside there to see. But you want to separate these wires out as much as you possibly can inside that crimp tube. Then the crimper tool is going to do the rest of the work for you. Got to find mine under all of this mess here. All right, so our crimper tool has 2 notches. That back notch looks like a piece of macaroni. The front notch is kind of oval shaped. That back notch has got a tooth. That tooth is going to come down and further separate out those wires inside the crimp tube. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start in that back notch. We're going to place the crimp tube into the back notch and we're going to squeeze. And what happens is exactly what I said. It should further separate out the wires so that there's a wire on either side of the tube or the bead, right? Now they're no longer touching, the metal is separating them. Then you want to take that out and you can actually see it if you take a good look at it, you can see where that tooth came down and separated out those wires. Then you're going to turn it sideways and put it in the front notch and give it a squeeze. Now, all that does is really just kind of close it up and make it a little bit more compact and tidy. It really doesn't do anything as far as the crimp is concerned. It just makes everything smaller. All right, so then if you have crimped properly, you're going to be able to give it a tug test. You're going to pull on either end to make sure it's nice and secure. Then you can come in and cut off this extra. When I very first started making jewelry a million years ago, I would leave like a really long tail and I would run it through my beads thinking that that was like giving me extra security. Truthfully, you're just wasting product that way because if you crimp properly, you don't need all of that. Now, it does look cleaner if you'll stick it through maybe like 1 or 2 beads and then cut it off. That's what we're going to do. Oh, no, you know what? I was going to start down here and I didn't. We're going to start up here. Just kidding. Sorry, because our wire guardian, we're actually going to do it directly to our connection here to our component, but it's fine because up here it's empty. But anyway, what I was saying was,
you did a me.
I'm going to run it through a bead or 2 and then trim it off just so that my crimp bead sits nice and straight up and down. But you don't even have to. You can trim it off right at the crimp if you want to. If you've crimped properly, you have no need for extra security, which is a falsity anyway. It's not really, doesn't really give you that extra security. So I'm going to dump out some of the seed beads here and we're going to thread on, I believe there's 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of the seed beads. And I'm going to run a couple of those over the tail end of that wire. So let's thread on like 3. I'm going to bring those down. And then I'm going to trim this wire off. And it just makes your crimp tube or beads sit nice and in line with everything. All right, so 7 more of our seed beads.
Instead of the special a new cap on the crimp bottles, I have a better idea.
Yeah.
I think we need like a smart bead machine that we can be like, hey, Alexa, I need some 2mm gold crimp beads, please. And then she's like, here they are. And then they like pop out of the machine and you have your crimp beads ready to go.
Yes.
I don't need a cap. I just want a smart bead machine. Thank you.
Yes, me too. Me too. Me too. would even be okay with one that maybe wasn't smart. Like it could start dumb. Like, at restaurants when you go up to check to like the counter and there's like one of those roll things that rolls out a toothpick. If I just had like a little roll thing to roll out a crimp bead.
Yeah. Just like tap a button and you get one crimp. I like that.
Exactly. All right, so now our design is set in some sections. So the next section of beads that we're going to thread on are these gorgeous dark red cubes with a seed bead in between them. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of the cubes. And of course, seed beads in between each one of those. Dump these out here.
It looks like a little magical mix you made there.
It is a magical mix. All of these beads make me ridiculously happy. It wasn't just the shapes and the textures, it was the color palette as well. The deep jewel tones, I'm always excited to work with those.
I feel like you've like really embraced the theme also, like in what you're making with the piece.
Yeah. I wanted to stay true to the theme. But like I said, you don't have to, because these beads are going to work in so many different ways. You don't have to do an Art Deco piece. You don't have to do a 20s inspired. You don't have to. It's just such a cool, fun theme that I'm just really inspired by. But honestly, you can make any kind of jewelry with these beads, because you've given us so many different shapes and textures and colors. There's no lack of design inspiration in this box, that's for sure.
Yeah, we try to put enough beads in the boxes that you could hopefully make like an entire like line of jewelry. And some people actually do this. Like there's someone in Gem Chat, I think it's Jessica, who will basically use the entire box and make like 5 to 10 pieces of jewelry.
Yeah.
And then she'll name the whole line, like, and kind of market it together. And it's so smart. She uses like all the beads.
Yeah.
And she markets around it, which I think is so smart. So that every month she has like a new collection centered around the box.
That is so awesome. That's got to make you feel pretty awesome, right? I mean, that's to be the creator of something like that. That's got to make you feel. It's got to make you feel like you're doing good,
I'm usually just in awe because she managed to really like find all the combinations and use all of the beads, which I think is like quite impressive. Like I often will use a chunk of the beads, but like she's like, no, I'm using all of the beads.
Yeah.
And then every few months we'll get like a leftovers piece. Where you're like, I had some beads left over from the past few months, and she'll like find a way to put them all together.
Oh, that's so cool. Very inspiring. I love that.
So if you want to challenge, because there was someone on YouTube also who took the entire box and like sorted it first into like color groups.
Yeah.
And then made all those color groups into pieces and left like almost no beads left either.
Wow.
It's a really interesting challenge.
That's awesome. All right, so we're going to transition into a new kind of pattern or whatever you want to call it. And our transition piece are these amazing table cut. Oh my gosh. Those are so cool. I just love a good table cut bead. I don't even care what the shape is, but these are super cool.
I also feel like it's a good Sara color.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right.
Those are a box exclusive. We are totally that's the bead we ran out of and couldn't make more boxes. So if you have the box, you're the only one with those beads.
Wow. All right, so we're going to transition into a new little pattern here that I kind of change up part of the way down. I don't know. You can do this however you want to do it, obviously, but I'm going to do one of these. Then we've got the black and gold, the larger of the fire polish check, and then a druck. And then I'm going to do 3 of the smaller fire polish check. And then I'm going to do that again and then come down to another one of these. And then I'm going to go the opposite direction with it. So I'll show you. So we're going to thread this one on first. of the larger check rounds, a druck, and then 3 of the smaller. I love these. The gold and black, these are super cool.
Yeah, Rachel and I are experimenting with including more matching beads. And you'll start to see more of this. And like, so in this box, we did the 4mm fire polish and I think an 8mm fire polish with the same combo of black and gold.
Yeah.
And so we're experimenting more with this in some upcoming months as well. And I don't know, just because we got this really good feedback of like, sometimes it's hard to like match beads together. Say if you're wanting want to stay in the same color palette. So we're intentionally, now that we do a lot of custom beads for the box, getting beads with the exact same color mixes. And I'm curious how that goes because like I am a fan of like having as much contrast as possible, but I see how it could make certain things easier in design.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have it match.
All right, so I came down to another one of the ovals here, and now I'm just kind of going and I'm doing the same thing, but just in reverse. So I ended in the 3 smaller, but now I'm going to start with the 3 smaller. So I'm just doing the same pattern, just flipped the other direction, which might help if I could scoot it up here a little bit. It's a challenge to do these long designs and make sure you can see everything.
Do it all, Sarah.
Makes me wish I had like a really high camera attached to the ceiling so I could really get a really good overhead view.
Oh my God, the camera at Bead Fest was wild. They had this like, it literally was like, it looked like it was from the ceiling. I don't know what kind of fanciness it was. I want one.
I need all of that. I need full studio setup in here to achieve what I really want to achieve. All right, so that's the pattern, right? So one of these like burst ovals, coming down to another oval, and then we just kind of reversed it. So it's just a mirror image. And then we're just going to crimp that, and we're going to crimp it to the loop that's here on the component. So I'm going to do a crimp and wire guardian. And then the bead string and wire goes back down through the wire guardian. And before we go through our crimp tube, we're going to thread it through the loop on our component. That way it's all connected. So there's not a jump ring here. I do want to take the wire through the crimp, and just for good measure and to give myself a little bit of room to work, I'm going to take it through 1 bead. That just means that I'm pulling from a little bit further away. Instead of having my fingers and my tool all crowded up right here, I can pull the wire from here, and then my fingers are out of the way. I can come in with my crimper tool, put that into the back notch, give it a squeeze. I'm going to turn it sideways, putting it into the front notch, giving it a squeeze. And then I can come in and trim off. All right, so now if you wanted to call it done, we've got a really beautiful design right here. I mean, it's just pretty, just like it is, right? You could put your hardware on the back and call it done.
Oh yeah, totally.
But we're going to be extra because, I mean, I'm me and I'm always extra. It's just kind of the way I am. So one of these strands, like I showed y'all before, is already done. And the next strand is going to be very similar, with just a little bit of a change when we get down to the component, just because of the shape of the component here. It's smaller on one side, so I do have to change it up a little bit. But just to show you, it's the smaller of the check glass and the drucks. And that's going to come down, and then we're going to transition again into this pattern that we did here, right? So where it's that oval, the larger, the druck, and then the smaller, those are going to come down to another wire guardian. Now this one, since it's already done, I'm going to go ahead and attach it with a jump ring here, just so that it is connected and I don't have to worry about it traveling around on me. Where did my jump rings go? I have such a huge mess. I'm so glad that you don't see the mess.
We just see like blissful perfection.
Yeah, we'll call it that. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the clasp on this side too. I'm just using a standard lobster clasp, but you could use something fancy here if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to close that. That's just going to keep this all together. I don't have to worry about losing a strand as I'm working. However, I want this strand to go through this side of the component. Okay, so what I end up with is when I even them out, because I do want them to be even, and gravity is definitely going to help. And I know you can't see, but see how I've taken it through the component. And then this one's just going to dead end, right? We're going to put a dangle on the end of this to keep it from sliding through here and just as a really cool element. But I've already taken it through the component here, so it's ready to go. That's going to kind of help me to figure out how long the next piece needs to be. Okay. Because remember, we're doing a piece that's a little longer and a piece that's a little shorter. So it has that kind of asymmetrical. All right, so we are actually going to start at the opposite end this time. So we're going to cut another piece of bead string and wire. We're going to start down here and go through this little hole first and bead up to the back of the necklace.
This is such a good stash buster design in general.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could use any beads with this, but I mean, these beads are perfect for it. You could, though, however, if you wanted to make a different color design. But you know what? You could do this exact same design with other beads in the box. You don't have to use the black and the gold. You could do this with the aventurine and the purples and the blues if you wanted to. I was just really caught up in the elegance of the black and the gold, but you don't have to go that route. Okay, so let's see here. I actually have to, believe it or not, pull the picture out because I need to be sure that I do this correctly. All right, so we are going to start out with our crimp and a wire guardian. Okay, so we're just starting out the same way. Oh,
have we told folks what's happening on Friday yet?
No, but I think you should.
I hope folks aren't too busy on Friday because Sarah and I are getting back together.
Yeah, we are.
Sarah's going to be teaching the Sam's Bead Shop class on Friday. So we're kind of moving that to like 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern these days, just so it's not as late for East Coast folks. And we actually have a new kit launching that I can give you a little sneak peek of.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah just finished the design. It's so pretty. Let's see. Okay, here it is. So if you go to the Sam's Bead Shop, here, I'll make myself bigger just for a second, and then we'll get back to Sarah's beautiful, beautiful necklace. If you go to the Sam's Bead Shop app, which you can get on the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, at the very top, I just published Sarah's design that she did. Oh, come on. Why is this? Usually this works so well. You can see it. Too bright. There we go. So Sarah made this whole jewelry set with gorgeous carnelian and check beads and this cool like gold and orange palette. So if you want to join the wait list, because that kit will go live later this week, probably on Friday, you can just hit the add to waitlist button. That might show in just a second. Yeah, see it says add to waitlist. If you click that, let's see if I can click it. It'll then show on your waitlist page and it'll go into your cart when it's available. Their last kit was like more of a premium kit. This one this one's a little bit less expensive just because there's not nearly as many like metal components and such in it. It's a little bit simpler, but you still get necklace, bracelet, and earrings. So if you are interested in that, definitely go ahead and join the waitlist for that. You can do that. Yeah, the easiest way to do it would be on the app. And you'll have first dibs for our class on Friday, which is going to be awesome. We're making 3 pieces on Friday.
It is. It's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. It's cool because there's a lot of wire involved. It may not look like it, but there is a lot of wire involved, and but it's not hard. I wanted to try to keep it simple so it didn't really intimidate anybody because there is a lot of wire involved. But I think you're really going to be pleased with the technique that we do because you're going to be able to use it in other ways in your jewelry making and then kind of grow from it, which is always kind of my goal with everything. I want to inspire you and teach you, but then I want you to grow, you know, from what I teach you. I want you to take it to the next level. And I feel like that's definitely what will be the case with Friday's design for sure. So coming back to this one, I want to show you, this is going to be the shorter piece, and it's not shorter by a lot, just a little bit. And I'm having to bead this one through the component, whereas this one I was able to just set it through there. This one I actually have to bead through it because it is a smaller side of this little component, and the next bead that goes on won't be able to pass through. So I just want to show you what that is. So you can see the pattern is the same as what we already had going on. It's the larger of the round, the druck, the 3 smaller, larger, a druck, 3 smaller, and we're just going to do that again. So when I add this larger of the check glass, this one won't be able to pass through that component. So that's why it's important to string this one through the component as you're going. Okay.
That's so smart. And then you don't, oh my God, that's so smart.
Thanks.
I don't know why every time I watch a Sara live, I'm just like, oh, that's genius. Every time you always get me with something.
You make me blush. You're too funny because I don't look at it that I'm like, well, yeah, that's just kind of the way it has to be. And you're like, oh no, that's genius.
Yeah, because now the whole strand is secure and it won't go flying.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's important to start on this. I mean, you can do it from the other direction if you want to. You just have to remember where you're going to stop because you can't just be beading along and then all of a sudden be like, oh, I forgot to go through the component. So you got to be sure that you're keeping up with it as you're going. All right. So we've got the 3 smaller. We're going to do another of the large, a druck, and then 3 of the smaller. Now, what I want you to know about this, everybody out there, if you're going to recreate this design exactly the way that I've done it, it will be a little off as far as the way it's going to hang. It's kind of hard to explain. You're going to see when I add this next bead, you're going to see what I mean. So let me show you. Everything kind of sits at a little bit of a different level. So these 2 ovals are going to run side by side, but the ovals on the other strand are going to be up just a little bit, right? So that you don't have all 4 of those ovals trying to fight for space. They all are going to hang forward facing and not going to fight each other, right? And that's because they're staggered a little bit. So the outer strand, the oval will be up, the inner strand, the oval will be down so that they all have their own little lane to stay in, if you will. Okay, so now I'm just going to mirror image what we just did. So now we're going with the smaller. We're doing a druck and the larger. So there's that. And we're just going to kind of repeat what we're doing here. So 3 of the smaller, a druck, the larger, 3 of the smaller,
Sara, you ready for November 18th?
Oh my gosh. Well, actually, you know what? I am. And you know why I am? I'm glad you asked me that question because I can shout out to Colleen here a little bit. So, oops, I forgot the larger of the check. So, first, you want to tell everybody what you're talking about first?
No, I like the shorthand.
Okay. All right. All right.
Oh,
Actually, we're going to change up our pattern here real quick. I just
go ahead.
I want to talk about that really quickly before.
Please do.
So I'm gonna do one more set of the check, the druck, the 3 check, and then I'm just gonna start alternating the drucks and the small check. Okay, so that's how we're gonna finish off this strand. So, are we? Am I though? Because now that I'm looking at this, like, what happened to my bead? Hold on, I need to double check my picture. Because I think I've confused myself now.
Is your goal symmetrical or asymmetrical?
It's asymmetrical, so this is not where this goes. Oh my gosh, look at me. I messed up my own design.
Yeah, well, that's
why
because I started badgering you right then.
Well, yeah, it's kind of your. I'm just kidding. It's totally your fault. Okay, hold on now. Okay, so coming out of the component, we've got a druck. I mean, a large check, oval, large check. What have I done? Large check. Oh, I'm doing it right. Why am I just missing a beat? Oh, no. I realized. Okay, so in order to make it all, that's the last bead in this little, that's where things are off just a tiny bit, is right here. I'm going to start the pattern. I'm not going to repeat this little section here. I'm just going to start so that it's all even. Okay, just ignore me. Let's go back to what we were talking about before. We're just going to pick up right here after that oval with a druck and start our pattern of the druck and the smaller check and the druck and the smaller check. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Maria says, if you messed up, looks pretty, love it.
That works. I didn't. I thought I did, but I did not. I was thinking about what Sam was talking about and not paying attention. Okay, so I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or day before yesterday. Colleen asked me if the day of the what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The 18th, right? It's the 18th.
Uh-huh.
On the 18th, if she could come and sit with me and handle all of the technical things and be my in-person cheerleader. And I was like, yes, please. That makes it so much better to have Colleen here and sitting with me and like being my cheerleader and yeah. So yeah, I feel much better about it now that Colleen has decided she's gonna be my wingman through it. Because I was a little scared, not gonna lie. Like, my competition is stiff. You put me up against amazing people. Like,
well, so this is why I think it's so funny. So November 18th is our competition, folks. It's our first like Sam's Bead Shop showdown. And so we've got Sara, we've got Danielle.
You're calling it a showdown. Come on, that's intimidating.
Well, I had to call it something fancy. But it's still like within the vibe of Sam's Bead Shop. So we're here to just kind of laugh as much as we can. So it's okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, if you were to start a bead fight, I would also still be happy if you just started throwing beads. Like, I would be like, yes, get it, yes.
Oh gosh.
So Sarah's going against Danielle and Tracy Proctor, who's the head designer at Tierra Cast.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all getting the same box of beads that has some of Tierra Cast's latest collection, which I feel like is an advantage for Tracy because she obviously has designed with all of the components.
Yeah, it's a little not fair, I'm just gonna say,
But I couldn't not include a Tierra Cast component, so like it's there. Hey, who knows? Maybe you'll just like stop the show and give her a new way to use one of those components.
I doubt it, but wouldn't that be amazing?
I actually bet it will happen.
I don't know.
Between you and Danielle, like Tracy's probably gonna be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you've put us up against Danielle, who is gonna make, like, I'm going to be working on one design that I'll be lucky to even finish. Danielle is going to have done like 6 designs in the time that it takes me to do half of one. And they're all going to be stunning because she's
She's like,
amazing.
I made a beaded tapestry.
Yeah. And while I was waiting on the rest of you to finish, I made 16 pairs of earrings.
So Danielle did class on Friday and we were talking about the competition and she was like, I can't believe you're putting me against Sara and Tracy, like my 2 idols.
That's exactly how I feel.
And that's what I tried to tell her.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So all of y'all are ridiculous. All of you guys are going to make beautiful things. Rachel and I are going to be the hosts, and we're very excited. And if you haven't heard, anyone can get the competition box. Like a lot of these bead competitions, you can't get the box. But we wanted to do a competition where anyone could participate. So if you want to like join in and you get to submit your own designs as well, you can get your own box. And I will try to drop a link in the comments in a second because we're doing like what we're calling like a special Sam's Bead box. That's not one of the regular monthly boxes.
Right.
Have that. So you can get a box if you would like to. Here's the link, folks.
Oh gosh, I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so scared because I don't do well with competition. Like
that's what you always say.
I tend to get in my head way too much and just blow it. Okay, look, we've beaded all the goodness up. Now it's time to add the dangles here at the end, and you can see how it's staggered here at the bottom. Now, what I want you to know is when you're looking at the pictures of this is where I messed up, and it's not a mess up. It was intentionally done this way, but I forgot about it while I was doing this. In order for the second set of this pattern to start in the same place, this pattern had to be changed up at the end just slightly. So you can see, and we're talking about these inner strands here. So to keep all of this evenly spaced, right? The pattern is exactly the same up until this last oval. This oval on this side, there's an oval, and then we mirror the check glass, the druck, and the 3 check glass. Then we go into the druck check glass pattern. It didn't work out to have this staggered and for it to all lay correctly if I put this oval here, right? So instead, I did the 3 smaller, the druck, the large, and then the oval, and then started the pattern. It just makes it all lay correctly. So I don't want you to look at this and think that it was some sort of mistake. It was intentionally designed that way so that these 2 ovals had their own space, and so that the patterns started exactly evenly. You can see how the sections are exactly the same length here, because that was important to me, that everything kind of flowed together naturally without it looking really odd. So, and you talk about how when I design things, I do it that way. I design in sections. So there's like a section of seed beads, and then there's this section, right? Section of seed beads, and then this section. And then we transition into a new section. But in order to make that section work, down here where it's tiered, I had to set it up this way, right? And maybe that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but when you're doing it yourself, if you're going to repeat this exact design, you're going to see like it intentionally worked that way.
I've never thought of mirroring just a section.
Yeah. And you don't really notice it once you have the piece on. It's just that when you're laying it out and you're looking at it, you're like, well, they're not exactly the same just in this little section right here, right? Just right here. But it's just a mirror image of itself in order for everything to flow.
Yeah.
I know that might be kind of confusing, but it really was
No,
intentional.
it makes a lot of sense so that the beads aren't touching, and it creates a really cool flow.
Yeah.
With only mirroring like 2 inches of the stringing there.
Right. So then we come down here and we're ready to add our little dangles, and then our design is done. Okay, so we're just going to use a little bit of wire down here at the bottom because I can't do anything that doesn't have a wire wrapped loop in it. I mean, I could, but I mean, it probably wouldn't be the same. as far as like a Sara design if I didn't do a little bit of wire wrapping. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take these fabulous red beads. Okay. So both of those, we're going to do a druck, and then we're going to do the ovals. And I'm just going to put those on some 22 gauge wire, and we're going to wire wrap them to our wire guardians here. We're going to do a knotted head pin. So if you're a fan of knotted head pins, we're going to do that, and a wrapped loop, and that'll be it. Our design will be done. So I'm going to take some 22 gauge wire. I'm going to take about 4.5, 5 inches of that. And I'm going to use my round nose pliers. And I'm going to grab the tip of the wire with the very tip of the round nose pliers. And we're going to roll the wire around the tip of the pliers all the way around once. And then I'm going to roll all the way around a second time. That's just going to create a coil. Okay. Then, I love it. Wanda's always on it. She rocks.
I was about to say, if Wanda does not comment in 5 seconds, I am banishing her. And then here she comes.
So now, before you take this off of the tool, you want to take the wire and you want to bend it so that it is running underneath the coils. That is away from the tool of the handle, or the tool of the, the handle of the tool and your hand. Okay. Don't make the mistake of bending it the wrong direction. That's why I like to make that bend before I take it off of the pliers. Now I am going to take it off of the pliers. I'm going to take that wire and I'm going to turn it backwards and stick it through those 2 coils that we just made. Makes like a little lasso. Okay. I'm going to use my nylon jaw pliers to hold onto that wire right next to the 2 coils. And then I'm going to use another pair of pliers to pull. And that's going to pull a knot into the end of our wire. So we've created ourselves a knotted head pin. Okay. I'm going to thread on the red bead, a druck, and our oval. And I'm going to do a wrapped loop, and I'm going to do it directly to our wire guardian. So I'm going to start with the chain nose pliers. Whoops. And I'm going to bend the wire over the top of the pliers so that when I take the pliers away, there's enough room here for my wire wraps. I don't have to measure. I let the tool do all that stuff for me. Come in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to go up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Then I'm going to rotate those in my hand so that I can take the wire over to close up our loop. But before I do the wraps, I'm going to take it off of the tool, and I'm going to take the tail end of that wire and stick it through the wire guardian and just slide those 2 together. You can use a jump ring here if you want to, but I find that it's not necessary. I'm going to hold on to that loop with my bent chain nose pliers, and then I'm going to wire wrap in between the loop we created and the top of our bead. I've got enough room for 3 wraps, and then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off the excess wire. And tuck that in if you need to. So that's attached. We've got our little dangle on one side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So I'm going to cut another piece of wire, make another knotted head pin. Okay. So roll that around the tip of the pliers once, go a second time directly underneath that one. Stop where you see the cut in the wire, bend the wire underneath the coils. Whoa, sorry guys. Take it off of the tool, take the wire, turn it back, and stick it back through those coils. Grab with your nylon jaw pliers and pull. There's our knotted head pin. We're going to thread on our bead, our druck, and our oval, and we're going to do our wrapped loop. Okay, bending the wire over the top of the pliers. Round nose pliers are coming in, up and over. Rotate, take the wire over to the other side. Whoops. What is going on here?
Wanda's so right. Those would be great earrings.
I know. So pretty. So pretty.
Oh, this is the one Rachel and I were debating yesterday. Which way is up and down on the Deco fan? That red bead.
So I don't think it makes much of a difference, but I'll tell you what I did.
Okay, I think Sarah's frozen for a moment. It's usually what happens, but she'll be back in a moment. Probably giggling. Give her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no, she's still frozen. Uh-oh. Well, everyone, it's been great hanging with all of you. No, Sarah's iPad doesn't like guests that much, and so sometimes it freezes. But I'm assuming I'm still streaming. That's what I usually assume. So wave hello if I'm still streaming. Otherwise, I'm frozen, and that's no good. But I should let folks know again that our live sale tonight's at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern at on the Sam Siegel Facebook page. And oh no, Sarah's gone. This is like the first time Sarah and I were live together. It was like I was the first time on Sarah's page, and then the same thing happened. She fully left, and I was terrified. But if you want extras of these beads, our Bead Box celebration, we also call it the Bead Box Extras sale, is tonight on the Sam's Bead Shop Facebook page, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, if you want to mark your calendars. We have extras of pretty much every single bead. Otherwise, I definitely recommend joining for the November box because we have subscriptions open through November 9th. And this is the first month we opened up new slots. We had totally run out of slots for the last 2 months because we hadn't been opening them for a while. And then we ran out. So if you have been thinking of joining, definitely go ahead and do so. I'm wondering if her iPad died. Let me text her. She texted me. She's coming back. Don't worry. And we'll get to see the end of her piece. What's up in everyone's world? I remember when Sarah did this live, the Bead Box live alone recently. She's like, Sam has to be here, and now I understand what that feeling is because it's not the same without her. Tammy said, question about the competition box is that the picture is just a teaser. The picture is real, so like it shows you a few of the items that are in the competition box, and then it has a lot more items than that. So we want to give you a little taste of what's to come, but not everything if you're pre-ordering the competition box, which is separate than our monthly box at the shop. Oh, Sarah's internet crashed. I'll ask her if she wants me to go ahead and end the stream. I'm going to guess she will because she can't join currently. Well, Sarah sends her love to all of you. And I believe Sarah's next stream will be Friday morning for Feel Good Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And she always launches her so many gorgeous kits. And then later in the day, she'll be on the Sam's Bead Shop page where you can... Sarah sent us a photo of the finished piece. I don't know if I'm that quick to show you, but I'll try. So definitely go to Sarah's stream, and then she'll be with us on Friday afternoon as well for a kit launch at Sam's Bead Shop. My next stream is the one today. Is our live sale, and that's it for now. Sarah sent me the finished piece. Let me see if I can get this onto the computer. Sarah's trying to come back. I might be able to get this onto the screen. Sometimes I have my moments. Let's see here. Are you back?
Apparently I'm back.
Phew.
My internet just went completely away and then came back. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened. But I'm done, so
I wasn't terrified at all. Don't worry.
I was freaking out just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna put this on the bust so y'all can see it, just in case something happens. So.
Oh my gosh.
a little scary there for a second.
I was just first you froze, and I was like, "Huh, I don't know what's going on."
Yeah. And then I just had the little spinning wheel of death, you know. It said, "Sorry, you're done today." That's what it was telling me. You're
I know.
finished.
I was about to just end the stream. I was like, "Well, I guess we're done, folks."
All right, y'all. So we are.
Oh no. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the photo on because she definitely froze again. Oh, well, let me do it that way. Well, here's the.
I'm gonna show you.
Oh, you're back. You're back. There we go.
So here's what it looks like on a really, really long bust. Okay. Now on the bust, I will tell you, it doesn't look nearly as cool as it does when you have this on. Like, I wish I had the ability to put this on and show it to you. I'm not gonna, because I have on a crazy t-shirt and I don't want you to see it, but you have to take my word for it. This hangs really, well, I mean, it's hanging really cool now, but this would look amazing with like something solid, a solid color, something. You don't want too busy because you're going to lose the design in it, but it's just a really cool piece. I mean, just really fun.
I absolutely love it. It sparkles so
it
nice.
Really, yeah. Lots of sparkle, lots of sparkle. And then again, on the back, remember I told you we've got, my neck back there is really dirty, gross, but you can see how the seed beads kind of make it.
They kind of bring it together, is what Sarah's saying as she froze. And finish it off really nicely without having too many beads.
Just
all right. Oh, there she is.
I don't know for how long. Could be 5 seconds. Could be 10. We don't know. So I'm going to go.
We're going to go take a rest.
Yes.
Sarah,
All
that
right,
came out
guys.
so awesome.
Thank you. I hope you guys loved it. I hope that I inspired you for sure.
It's really cool. I feel like it's a totally different style than I've seen you make also, because it had like so much length.
Yeah.
And the multi-strands, like it's really cool to see. I don't know, just it feels like a statement piece, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen like your wire statement pieces, and this feels like almost like more of like a stringing statement piece, a beaded one, and like it came out so beautifully.
Thank you. Every now and then I do something pretty cool.
Amen.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone, thank you for being here. I gave everyone the details on your live on Friday, the live sale today, and then our class on Friday. So definitely you can put those all into your calendar if you want to get reminders. Also, just join. Sarah and I each have a text list, and we text out before we go live. Mine is joinsamsbeadshop.com. For Sarah's, you have to text her number to join.
Yeah.
So her folks maybe will drop that number again in the comments. It's super helpful to be on the text list because then Facebook's not always going to notify you when we're live. So
exactly. All right. Thank you, Sam, for another amazing box. It was awesome.
Thanks for making with it. And I think it's about that time of the month where folks need to join Hardwired.
Yeah, so we are open for enrollment right now. And we'll be through, well, I don't want to say that. We're not open just yet. We'll be open for enrollment at the end of this week. So Friday will kind of mark when the opening is. And then through the first half of next week, probably give you the entire week. But yeah, if you want to come and be a part of my paid Facebook group, that is the Hardwired group. Where we do kind of a step up from beginner level stuff like we do here. So just a little bit harder, not a lot harder. So don't feel like it's going to be too hard for you. I feel like it's beneficial to every skill set. But yeah, we open for enrollment once a month, and it's usually at the end of the month into the beginning of the next month. And we want you to come and be a part of it. It's a great group. We do a lot of really fun things. This week, our project is a finger swirl necklace. It's actually a revisit of an old project that somebody asked to do again before the holidays because they wanted to make some of these for holiday gifts, I think. So I was happy to oblige because this is a really fun project. It's this, and then we're also making, in addition to that, we're doing the earrings to match it, which are also really cool. We haven't done the earrings before, so yeah, we do a lot of wire work, but every once in a while we'll throw in something a little bit different. We made spiders for Halloween, just to show y'all just really quickly. We made a ton of wire spiders. that was a lot of fun. And then everybody in the group has kind of like taken pictures of their spiders doing naughty things, you know, and post it. It's just a lot of fun. So it's a great group. If you're looking to kind of build your skill set, we definitely want you to come and be a part of it. And I'll have more
So much
information for you about
fun.
that.
I
Friday.
love hanging out there.
Yeah.
It's just a great place to learn.
It's so
and
fun.
hang.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely way to support Sarah. And it's only like $29 a month, right?
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, it's definitely affordable, and it's cheaper if you actually pay quarterly instead of monthly. You get a big discount that way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think Sarah does a lot, and I don't know, always gets proper recognition. So I think it's like a
Thank
way to pass your thanks on to Sarah if you're someone who watches her regularly. I think Sarah does a lot behind the scenes.
I
She
do a
really
lot,
cares.
that's for sure.
She really cares. So like, it is just a lovely way to support Sarah.
Thank
Uh,
you, Sam.
And also it's a lot of fun. So like there's no it's like it feels like a very easy decision. I love being there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm all blushing. Oh goodness.
I think it is time, isn't it?
It is time. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us. And you can see me back here on Friday at 1 p.m. for our Feel Good Friday show. Hardwires, don't forget we're meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. instead of today at 5 p.m. because I got a chorus concert to go watch. My kiddo. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a choir nerd.
Yay. Oh. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of the afternoon. Don't forget to check out Sam and the big sale. Okay.
And
Love
then
you guys.
and then go sign up for Hardwired. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye, guys.